me say a special good morning to our viewers and listeners this morning. When I say viewers, let me say good those of you who are viewing via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channels 20. Good morning and welcome to another edition of To The Point. Those of you listening via Classic Radio, 105.5, 105.9, good morning to you also. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What about our social media audience this morning? Those of you via our Facebook page, those of you via the YouTube channels, those of you via GBN webpage, gbn.gd, good morning, welcome. I'm your host, GT with you this morning, and welcome once again to another edition of To The Point. And to my right, you can see I have, of course, I guess with me this morning, I'll say good morning to the lovely lady. That's Miss Shirlyn Sears, and she's representing the Ministry of Finance this morning. And this morning, we're talking, of course, our topic of discussion will focus on the twice monthly salary payments that will soon to be introduced by the government. And we will certainly be having a bit of a conversation about that. I hope we could spur more details for those of you who are soon to be paid twice monthly. I wish I could be part of that. You never know. Anyway, good morning to Ms. Sears. How are you this morning? Hope all is well with you.
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you. And good morning to our listening audience and the viewers out there.
All right. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good. So
Yes.
this morning our conversation will basically be about, the twice monthly salary payment, of course, and how folks could benefit, the benefits of it, and everything else that individuals would like to know pertaining to the twice monthly payment. We know it's been promised by government, and soon now it's been introduced. Let's start the conversation in terms of the process of it, and how should I say it? When will workers receive that of course that first part of the monthly payments, if we're going to start it off like that?
Okay, so well, let's start from when we started the process actually. So we started around November last year after the of course the government made mention of implementing semi-monthly payment. So our department within the Accountant General's department started working on measures to make sure that we implement it and we implement it on time. So we started first around November, then we looked at the technical implications, what we need to change, what configurations we need to change on the system to make sure that we can and truly process payments twice per month. Since then, we are confident that we can because we went through all the testing aspect of the system, and we're gonna make our first payments on the 14th of April.
Okay.
So what the process is that really you'll be receiving your money twice per month. It's what we call in government your personal emoluments, which is a combination of your salary and your allowances, as well as pensioners will also be receiving their monies twice per month. People use the term semi-monthly, bi-monthly, is interchangeable, but the whole thing is that you'll be receiving your payments twice per month, and it is half of your salary twice per month. Let's make sure. Some persons thinking it's their full salary they're receiving twice per month, but it's actually half of your salary you'll be receiving twice per month.
All right. I'm thinking about this and the process of how it's going to work. And you said of course, the particular department has gone through the process of the testing and so forth, and they have come down to the conclusion that it can work.
Yes.
You understand? It's a new for a vast majority of us. Although there may be other businesses within the society who may have been offering that already. So there are workers in certain working environment who may know of it.
Right.
I've been receiving my money, as we would say in local terms, fortnightly or some other stuff. We've been receiving. No, this process is going to be introduced. What does have some of the concerns that you may have, or the feedback and some of the concerns that the ministry has been received, especially from workers, if there have been any?
There were some concerns initially because, of course, it's something different. Once there's a change of process, people will be concerned. People say, well, why you want to change it? Because I'm getting our money monthly. Why you want to change it? But we are looking at the benefits, the economic activity benefits, as well as benefits to the individuals. Because persons now will have faster access to their cash, to their funds. They now will be able to meet their commitments quicker because they'll have their money available to them earlier, faster. By the 15th, you have your first set of money. It's half, but you still have some cash available.
Yes.
And as one person told me that you're actually trying to shorten the Brooks period. Yes, so
that's interesting.
which is a good thing. Yes, because you don't have to wait until the end of the month. to try to get to have some funds available. So that is what we are looking at, the aspect of having money available to our employees, that they can do whatever they need to do with their money, whether it's to deal with an emergency that pops up, or whether or not they have some bills in there they need to take care of, or just to have funds available in the case.
You know, you spoke about it already in your intro when you were speaking. How ready is the ministry for this Ministry of Finance for this process? Because you know, for years there has always been going through that 30-day period or 28-day period when you know you have that timeline now to deal with stuff. How was the process? How ready is the ministry for it?
I think we're ready as we can possibly be. Because yes, it's something new. The staff had to make some adjustments because we know that now we're thinking that we have to do the process faster. We are accustomed taking the whole month, almost the whole month, to make sure you run a payroll, to check your payroll. But now all the persons involved in the process now will have to be doing things a little faster. But we still will look at efficiency. Because it's persons' salaries we're dealing with. You can't be making mistakes. So we have to make sure that we efficiently processing these transactions. It will, and we look at it for the first period, but we will have to get additional staff. We already looked at the possibility of bringing in persons to assist, because then again it's a turnover, then is the movement, and then to make sure that the information gets to the financial institutions on time to process these payments.
Okay. What are some of the adjustments I would ask that the ministry had to go through?
Okay, so we had to, in terms of the system, it's more or less is the system changes. So we had to make, I don't want to sound too technical because I have a technical background, but we had to make some configuration changes. Also, we had to make some changes in the processes, because how the system works is that the ministries would actually pass information to the Public Service Commission as well as the DPA, that's the Department of Public Administration, and they will feed information into our system, our payroll system, or HR system, and that information is processed in the Accounting General's Department for payments. So we had to change the process. So persons now will have to make sure that they provide the information faster.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask this, you know, for the benefit of listeners and viewers out there who may be thinking about this, because as you said, there's a massive majority of us out there, it's a first time thing for us.
Right.
You know, what is this twice monthly, you know, bi-monthly, semi-monthly salary payment? I know people are thinking about that, because everybody know are waiting to end of the month to get my money.
Right.
You understand? Explain that for me if you can.
It's just getting your salary half of your salary twice per month. It's twice per month you'll be receiving half of your salary. It's a little different from fortnightly. Fortnightly, people get their monies every 14 days, and it could run like 26 payments, per year. But it's at the end you'll be getting 24 payments, because you're getting your money twice per month. So you're getting the money on the 15th, you're getting your salary also on the 30th. I mean, when we say, you use the term, it's salary and allowances. Okay. So persons will have the basic salary, then you'll have your allowances to go along with that, as well as the pensioners will also be receiving their payments half monthly. Now the persons who, fortnightly persons, that will remain as is, because a fortnightly is a type of payment. And in a fortnightly, you'll get your payments, you'll end up getting around 26 payments per month. So that will remain. We have some of the estate workers receiving fortnight payments. So that will remain as is.
So to a point, the government has been doing this to a point before.
Yes. So we have just a few employees, but we have persons receiving. Most of the persons on estates, they receive their payments fortnightly.
All right.
So we have been doing that. Just on a smaller scale.
Now, for the benefit for people who are hearing about this for the very first, who are the individuals that are qualified for this bi-monthly payment?
So all the persons who are currently getting paid monthly, everybody. Now we have different types of figures. For example, in government we have quote unquote monthly persons, right? And then we have persons who will receive. Their salary is actually a daily rate, but they are paid monthly. Okay. So they will also be getting their salary twice per month. We have contract persons that are government employees. We have a contract of service, contract for service. All these persons will be receiving their monies twice per month.
Okay. Tell me, what is the scheduled disbursement for this process?
Okay, so we have said 15th and the 30th of every month. But in cases where the 15th or the 30th falls on a holiday or a weekend, we will disburse the funds the day before. So you'll have your money available the day before that holiday or that weekend. So for example, the 15th is a Saturday for April, which is our first disbursement. So you'll actually, the funds will be on your account on the 14th.
On the 14th.
Yes.
All right. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yes.
We drew for a first break. We're going to take it. Folks, we're coming back. We're speaking to Miss Shirlyn Shears with us this morning. And we're talking about, of course, the monthly salary, of course, disbursement that is soon to be implemented here in Grenada. We're coming right back after the break, folks. Stay with us.
There is a secret. Here's what customers had to say about Domus Windows and Doors.
The service was excellent with Domus.
Excellent customer service.
Just out of frustration, searching, and just came across you, and I think it was the best, one of my best find ever.
A good feature is that I didn't have to install any burglar proofing on the door because they have laminate glass.
The manufacturing time was on point.
Thanks for what you all are doing. I will continue to be a customer.
Visit Caribbean Shutters, Windows and Doors for Domus quality UPVC solutions.
Do you know, when you play the games of the National Lotteries Authority, you are supporting sports, culture, and nation building in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique?
Hi, I am Junior Murray, cricket coach, sports enthusiast, and a former West Indies cricketer. I endorse the games of the NLA 100%. For the past 40 years, the NLA has been funding many sporting activities, including competition for schools and clubs, and for athletes to participate in overseas tournaments such as the Carifta Games and the regional cricket tournaments. Additionally, they made it possible for you, the public, to view local, regional, and international tournaments from the comfort of your homes. For those reasons, I play the game of the NLA. Even if I do not win, I know Grenada always wins.
Yes, when you play all the games, the NLA in turn supports sports, culture, and nation-building activities throughout the Tri-Island state.
Island Style's annual Easter clearance sale is here, and boy, do we have some exciting deals for you. Massive savings on tiles to be had with discounts from 10 to 35% off on all tiles store-wide. Buy all we have in the low stock model and watch your discounts skyrocket with a huge 15% off. Plus, get chip edge tiles for as low as $1. Yes, we're clearing out our old stock to bring in the new. And that's not all. The Easter Bunny has added extra savings on tubs, bathroom vanities, tile tools, and so much more. It won't get any better than this. Jump on these excellent deals and visit our Island Style showroom on Monroe Road in Grandans or call 439-TILE. That's 439-8453. Sale ends Holy Saturday. When you think tile, think Island Style.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers. It's to the point for today, Wednesday, the 5th day of April. And have with me this morning, representing the Ministry of Finance, we have Ms. Shirlyn Shears with us this morning. And we're talking twice monthly salary payment. And it's soon to be implemented here in the Spice Isle. Of course, as Ms. Shears did mention, all workers within the public service, is within the public service.
Yes, correct.
Within the public service
Yes.
will soon be receiving their salary twice monthly. Now, Messias, there probably is a question that we probably going to hear lots of folks, asking in this process, in terms of the scheduled deductions and so forth. How does the Ministry of Finance plan to implement that? Would it be, okay, well, I get my deductions, especially my NIS, my government taxes and so forth. Would that be happening no, it's going to be bi-monthly. No, would it be happening in the first 2 weeks, the second 2 weeks? What was the plan? So if there was conversation pertaining to that, What are some of the plans that were thought about that in terms of that part being implemented into it?
Okay, so in terms of the taxes, whether it's income tax or deductions such as NIS or institution deductions like courts, for example. Now, since you're receiving half of your salary, the calculations will be done on half of your salary. So it will mean that your NIS deduction, you'll be taking out the equivalent amount in the first half of your salary, as well as a deduction will be taken out in your second half. Likewise for the tax. So the computations will be based on the half part of your salary.
Okay.
So it's two sets of deductions that we'll be taking out. Same thing for...
Let me see if I get that. When you say two deductions, so which mean I can pay half of NIS in my first half or second half? Or is it the full be paid in the first half or in the second?
No, half of the... So your salary is $1,000, for example. And you're getting $500 in the first half.
Yes.
So that first half, you work out the NIS on that $500, and that deduction will be sent to NIS.
Okay.
As well as for the income tax, likewise. You take out the percentage on that amount, and that will be forwarded to the tax section.
Now, if an individual, maybe this could be a little bit of a technical question I'm going to be asking you. If an individual decides comes to the ministry and talk and say, "What I will prefer my taxes be removed from the second half," do they have that option?
No, because at the end of the year, though, it all comes back to the same thing. Because we're just taking out the deduction, but the total, remember your taxes is based on your annual deductions. So at the end of it, the total amount will be deducted.
Okay.
It's just that, because what happens there, if we give you a salary of $1,000 and you said, okay, we're going to take out the tax or the NS and the last part, it could be that you end up with a net amount based on the amount that you're deducting. So it's better if you deduct based on the amount you receive per the period.
Okay.
By the end of it, your total deductions will be sent. For example, NIS, at the end of the month, your total NIS deduction for the month will be sent to NIS. Okay. So you don't have to be concerned about how much going to NIS. It's the full amount will end up there. It's just that in the first period, you take out half of the NIS, and the next period, you take out the next half of the NIS.
I get that. But
yes.
it technically goes back to the question about taxes. Yeah. And you certainly have said it the right way. So in the first section, the deduction, half goes to NIS.
Right.
Second deduction, the second half.
The second goes, yes.
Same goes for your, especially the taxes for government.
Exactly.
On that first payment you receive, taxes for that will be paid.
Yes.
The second, and then
deducted.
And in all at the end of the month, it shows that your total, if you had to pay NIS $5, that's $5. But you
exactly.
You pay $250.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's how it looks. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, individuals may also ask, will I be receiving one or two pay slips at the end of the that bi-monthly payment? How would that process be working?
So we're feverishly trying to get the pay slips in place to get it out. Now we have changed the form, the how we are going to disburse the pay slips too, because before we used to print number of pay slips. Government have over 5,000. I wouldn't say the actual amount, but over 5,000 persons receive a salary from government, and that would mean on a monthly basis we printed over 5,000 pay slips. Now we decided, just as well as for efficiency, as well as the go to move to paperless system or the paperless processes within government, we decided to do process your pay slips on the system and send it via email. So saying you're going to get your pay slip via email. So this is the first time we're doing this. This is something brand new to us. So we're feverishly trying to get it done by the 15th. So at least your first pay slip, you will get it via email on the 14th, around the 14th. Now, for that to happen, we have to make sure, we spoke to our employees, we sent out requests to our employees to provide us with the email addresses so we can actually send it out to them. In the event that you did not supply that email address, we'll also have the finance sections within the ministries to also provide the employees with their pay slips.
Okay.
But the whole plan is that eventually everybody should be getting their pay slip via email. Once, yes.
What should be an easier, more easier process to a
it
point
is.
on how you said that,
and it's paper.
And get less paper and
exactly.
so forth. And folks, everybody walks around with their electronic
exactly. Exactly.
Which can easily view their pay slip and so that.
Correct.
So that should be interesting.
Yes.
Now, a question. I'm assuming, and we did hear conversation about that in terms of the conversation that the government and so forth, even the Ministry of Finance had with institutions whose salaries may be going to the banks, the credit unions. How was that process? How amicable was that process with individuals, with those companies?
Okay. So actually the first consultation we had was with the banks and the credit unions and the insurance companies, because we wanted to get an idea as to how they will handle the payments once we send it to them, how they will process their payments, and how it would affect the employees' payments. So even before we met with our employees, we actually met with the financial institutions, because we want to make sure that when we had the conversation with the employees, we had the information so we could inform them as to how it will be done. Now, the first meeting, it went very well, actually, because some of the financial institutions actually started the process already, because they heard the announcement since from the budget speech, and even before the election and campaign trail, the talk was about semi-monthly payments. So they were aware that it's going to come. So by the time we had our first meeting with them, that was latter part of January or early February, they informed us that they have already started putting things in place to make sure that once we send the payments to the institution on a bi-monthly basis, they can in fact apply the payments accordingly. Okay. So we also had a follow-up meeting with them just coming to the end of February, just to make sure that things are on its way, to make sure it's done. And they assured us that yes, the structures are in place, and they will be ready to accept the first payment on the 14th and apply it accordingly. Okay.
No, individuals may also ask, will I be incurring, additional fees, financial institution, for additional deposit on my account? So now someone will say the institution are now seeing, I'm paying this time and I'm paying that time. Will I incur additional fees and stuff? Would that?
No.
Is anything
that was the first, because we don't want to put our employees at a disadvantage. So that was one of the first questions we asked the banks, the financial institutions, whether or not there will be any additional fees. And they assured us, no, there will be no additional fees for deposits. Okay. So employees can rest assured that you get, once the money is deposited on the 14th and 30th, no additional deposit fees from the bank.
Because sometimes you will say a bank is expecting you to pay $5 on a monthly basis. Right. I know they're getting $250 and $250. Right. So they may think, well, there may be a cost incurred for that. So you're saying there's no need to worry.
No need to worry. Based on what they told us, yes, there's no need to worry.
Okay, great. Yes. Great. I guess that's something I guess folks who will be getting into the process now should be happy about.
Yes.
I know it's going to be a learning process for a lot of individuals.
Yes.
In terms of getting their mindset to the new way of things going to be happening.
Definitely.
Folks have to get accustomed to it, because I accustomed waiting 30 days to get my money. Now I'm getting having it twice per month, even though I'm receiving the same salary.
But in total at the end of the month.
Total end of the month.
Right.
But, it's just that I'm getting half now and half at the next time. Now, can an individual decide, in terms of the frequency of their loan payment? I prefer. I think I did ask you that earlier, but maybe I just want for a little more clarification, or maybe you could speak on it at length. I have decided, well, I would prefer my loan be paid in full in the second half. Can that be?
Right. So that is a discussion that you need to have with your financial institution. But actually, we were told that they started reaching out to the customers, and the customers have options based on what they told us. That somebody can choose to have the payments applied at the end of the month. So the two payments will come in from the government, but they're going to apply the payments once a month at the end of the month. Some persons say, okay, well, let's do it differently. Let's apply half, split the loan cost or the amount into, and some will go on the 15th, the other on the 30th. And some people are even opting for actually paying off their first payment of the loan on the 15th. Now, it all depends, of course, on the amount of your salary and your other commitments, whether or not you can pay your full loan amount by the 15th, or you want to split between the two periods, or you want to do. So that is why we're telling persons to have a conversation with their banks, because at the end of it, the banks it's between the banks and the customers that they will decide how they want the money to be paid. Now, I understand that the banks sent out requests to the individuals. They sent forms to them asking them how they would like the monies, their loan payments to be handled once it gets to the bank. So the individuals have the option of telling the bank, okay, let's do it twice a month.
Take it in the first
Take it in the first half.
Take what you have,
Exactly, take it half.
I take care of my other bills in the second half and so forth.
Yes, so they have the option.
Yeah,
but that's between the employees and the financial institution. Let me make sure to say financial institution because we're talking about credit unions also. And not just the banks.
Just the banks.
Yes.
Yeah. That's understandable.
Yes.
No. Individuals who are listening who are employees, what are the benefit twice monthly salary payments incur to them?
Well, you have faster access to the money, as I said before. And in terms of the bank, the ability to reduce the interest cost on your loan, because since you'll be making more payments on that loan, the interest cost is going to reduce based on the fact that you're paying more. And it's on a reducing balance. So I mean,
I was been trying to understand that fact when you say no, I'm paying more.
Pay more frequent.
The frequency
of the payments. Yes, the frequency of the payments.
I know saying, well, if I had to pay $5, then I can't expect to pay $10.
No, the frequency of the payments.
Frequency.
Yes.
No, they're getting at $250 and $250.
Yes,
So
yes.
for some reason, your interest rates will reduce a bit because they're seeing more activity.
Activity on them.
Yes,
right, correct.
That's the way of putting it.
As to the amount, I cannot see. That's between you and the financial institution. Yes.
That I understand. Know that they're seeing them more frequent and they're not waiting 30 days as before. So there are some benefits that could derive from this.
Correct. From the interest side, yes, and the economic activity, and you having the funds available to you faster. So you have options. Right. You're going to increase your options in terms of availability of cash.
You see, explanation in programs like this is important for individuals because sometimes there are other individuals who may hear in conversation along the wayside and not understanding this. You understand? And not understanding this and how it works. I may understand, you may understand because you're part of the process of how it's done, how it's going to be implemented. But there are individuals who may still be thinking, boy, how I getting this money twice and I know what I do when the 30th or whatever I get my money and these are the things I do with it. You understand? I know I get into what I'm going to do with this half, I know I get to do with this half. Because it's not always, and that's where the option of individuals be able to manage themselves.
Correct.
You understand?
And that is where we, just to go on a little further, that is from the consultations we had persons raising that concern as to they're never accustomed getting their money twice a month, to the concern with money management. How are they going to manage? Because just want a little education as to how to manage that money. So we decided to have money management sessions with the employees. So we have contracted the services of a contractor who will do this like classes. We ask persons to register and provide email information so we can have these classes for the employees. Because we don't just want to throw the employees into something new and we don't have the education and we don't educate them as to how to handle the money.
I mean, because not everybody manages money properly.
No,
it's
even on a monthly basis.
Even as thrifty as individuals are, sometimes they just don't manage money properly. And with a new process now been implemented and a new way of money being disbursed to you, you think, well, it's available. But then sometimes you find yourself spending more than that you never did before. Because you think, well, I know the second half is coming and then you realize you're running into problems.
Exactly.
You're running into problems.
Yes.
So money now, how soon would that process of that consultation that you'll be having in the employees or that way of manage, how soon do you think that will be implemented?
So we started gathering the information as to who are the persons who are interested? Because at least we need to get a total of the persons who will be interested in doing the sessions or the courses. And the plan is to start it by next week. Yes. So at least we should have some sessions started even before we implement the first payment, which is the 14th.
I mean, some folks may have the concern, maybe I should have had this before. Why after?
Yes,
I mean, if you understand where you're going from.
Yes, I understand.
Maybe I should have thought how to manage my money before I get the process of getting the money and then told how to use it. Some people may not like you telling them how to spend their money.
That's true.
Understand?
Yes,
I may not like somebody. I get my money. I don't want people to tell me how to spend my money.
Exactly.
We understand. But but that's before I was told, this is a process you do. This is a getting to understand a new way of life in Grenada. Okay, there are a lot of people who have stuck to old traditions and old ways of doing things, and it's sometimes very, very difficult for them to make that switch. You understand?
This is something brand new.
Brand new for
We have never done this before on this large scale.
Large scale. I'm not saying that no, there haven't been individuals who have been paid,
but on the scale,
but not on the scale.
On the scale, no.
Maybe if there are 20,000 Grenadians who have been who's in the workforce, just using a big number, there are probably a couple hundreds.
Correct.
You know, who have been receiving their salary on a bi-monthly basis. So now with that additional couple thousands now, it's a total different ballgame.
It is. And that's why we're looking at economic activity, because now we have much more persons having access to cash, fast access. So we're looking at the translation of that in terms of how it's going to affect business, economic activity in the country. Now we expect that persons will spend. We're not saying that that's what. Of course, we're going to introduce the money management aspect of it, but you have cash available so the businesses can say, well, okay, we've seen a turnaround. We know we're able to probably manage our cash flow a little better because funds are coming in more often. People are spending, monies are circulating in the economy, which is also the benefit you're looking at in terms of whole of government.
Let me ask this question, and I'm sure there are individuals out there who are listening and viewing, maybe having this particular thought flowing through their mind. Do I have the option of saying, I don't want to receive my money? Do individual. Now, I think I want my money continue to be paid to me on a monthly basis. I do not want to be in the bi-month. Do individuals have that option?
No, but no, because it would be very burdensome to try to manage a payroll system with some persons want it monthly and some persons want it bi-monthly. So in terms of administrative management of it, it would be a nightmare. However, that's the other thing. Now we're sending your money to the institution twice per month. Now you have an option.
Not touching it.
Exactly. That is the option. So you send the 15th, you have it there. We're not telling you don't touch it because you want the economic activity, but you have the option of leaving it there if you choose not to spend it.
So it's like technically becoming a savings for you, you know?
Yes, if you look at it that way, yes,
my
correct.
first half of my salary, when I get the second half, then I decide I want to do what I want to do in terms of how to.
So people have to start thinking, that the different options, because not to say every time it comes, the 15 you take out everything or you spend everything. Think about it. Yeah,
that's a good option. That's a good option thinking about. we due for a break. We're coming back. It's 30 minutes after the hour, folks. During this segment, folks, so viewers and listeners out there, if you do have a question that you would like to ask pertaining to the difficulty by monthly salary payments, and you would like to ask Ms. Sears, I'm sure she certainly will be happy to answer if she can. Let's try to keep the questions within the conversation this morning, please. After the break, that option will be available to you. We're coming right back, folks. Stay with us.
Southern Electrical for all.
We are feeling the strains of high prices, low economic growth, too much debt, reduced investments, and global tensions. The world is confronting what economists have now dubbed poly or many crises, not seen in decades. So, what are our leaders doing? And what can we do? Find out on the Caribbean Economic Forum on Managing Caribbean Economies in an Era of Many Crises with Gervais Warner, Dr. Kevin Greenwich, and Geneva Oliveri.
Caribbean Economic Forum, this Sunday at 5 p.m. on GBN television channels 7 and 11. GBN, keeping you informed with global issues, anywhere and everywhere.
It is important to know what your road signs and markings means. The zigzag lines means you should not park in the marked area. Parking is allowed inside the solid white lines on the edge of the road. Remember, look out for pedestrians. Pedestrians, be sure the vehicle comes to a complete stop before crossing. These tips can save your life. These tips can make our roads safer for all users. Be safe, be seen, be smart. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
No, that's not how you cross the pedestrian crossing.
Really? One day I just woke up and I saw pedestrian crosswalks on the road. No one really showed me how to use them properly.
Well, this is how it's done. You never cross before doing these things. They might save your life. First, when you get to the crosswalk, you stop. You look left, you look right. If there's a vehicle coming, you put your hand out, making eye contact with the driver, indicating that you want to cross. and only when the vehicle comes to a complete stop, you quickly cross to the other side.
Welcome back once again, listeners and viewers. It's To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 5th day of April. And we have with us this morning, that's Mrs. Shirlyn Sears, and she's with us this morning. And we're talking, of course, the implementation, soon to be implemented, the bi-monthly payments. And your phone calls are welcome in this segment. If you do have a question that you would like to ask, feel free to do so. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning. And how are you? Morning to your guests and to you.
Good morning to you also.
I have a simple advice for people that getting the two payments monthly. And I personally don't see that we need forum to teach people how to organize their money. When you look at it, people that working in the hotels or they're working under construction and they're getting their salary every 2 weeks, they don't have no big set of education and they know how to manage it. People who working in government that is educated with bachelor degrees and so forth, you have to teach them how to manage their money. Well, here my simple advice. When the money reaches in your account on the 15th, ignore it. Think that is at the end of the month it's going to be there. And go stay far from the credit union, stay far from the bank. And when month end reach, go into the bank and withdraw your money. And for the sensible ones, on the 15th, you go, you take out some, you do your business, and then you leave back some, and at the end of the month, you go back for the balance. There's no concentration to teach people how to do that. It's just simple. It comes like though you don't expect something, you don't go in the bank. You know, month end you expect your salary, you go to the bank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller. And the caller actually is just repeating what we actually mentioned just before the break. You understand? She's repeating what we, because if you don't need to touch that the first time, then you don't touch it. And you wait until the end of the month. And you understand. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning and you're welcome. Good morning to you, caller. I think we missed that caller there. Let's see if we can get that caller in.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, caller. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Good morning to your guests. I only want to ask your guests if this applied to the pensioners too.
Yes, so I think we did mention
Yes, it also applies to the pensioners.
All right, so if you're a pensioner, you also will be receiving your money on a bi-monthly basis.
And actually, we're having consultations with the pensioners tomorrow. So we are encouraging pensioners to supply their email addresses so we can send you a Zoom link. So you can have a consultation also with the pensioners.
All right.
Yes, tomorrow via Zoom.
All right. 435-2041. Now, I had a question I wanted to have, but let's take another caller before we get to that question. Caller, you're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I want to find out concerning the retirees benefit in NIS and this arrangement of the change system. Will that be happening in the retirees benefit as well, the half to half? Thank you.
Fine. Sorry.
Did you get what the caller was saying?
Yes. For the NIS payments, no. We the focus is on the employee payments for the pensioners. For pensioners payment from the government of Grenada. The benefits that you receive from NIS that will be handled by the NIS. So if NIS later on decide to do it bi-monthly, then that is their prerogative if they do it. But what we're speaking about is the pension you receive from government. That is what we'll be doing bi-monthly.
Okay. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, my dear. And my guest, the Education Fund Finance Department. Now, we live in the 21st century in this time with modern technology and everything coming into being. And our system is just the same old time where we were years since Christ left Green and go the same thing back to one way going to go. So I told them anyway for the past years gone by, to pay people weekly and fortnightly. And open to the government, I told the government, I talk to you, talk to the trade union and the business people and come here and make Green modernized. So people want more money to spend, the government will collect more revenue. And even locking on Green and say on a Monday and Tuesday holiday, and public workers don't work on a Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, want to work till Wednesday in a country with that life in them, nowhere to go. I mean, good to lockdown, making people get sick and all that, be taking people anywhere to go, no recreation, no entertainment. I mean, no cinemas in the past and things, you know. I mean, so people living and they eating and drinking and they are not in the body, they will get sick, you know. It's cancer and diabetes, what they will take them. The best way to go for the first time, Shirlyn, so you only government have money in the treasury, pay people money weekly, fortnightly, nothing wrong in that. And if my man work with it today, pay him today, so you have money to spend.
All right,
Now, man working for the whole Monday, Tuesday, up to Friday. And when Friday come, you can't seem to pay. And you have to take care of your family. Come on, that is embarrassing. People ain't going hard money.
Caller, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. Messias, let me ask you this before we entertain another caller. You actually spoke about the consultation that you have with, of course, with the various stakeholders and so forth. What was the feedback in terms of the implementation from those stakeholders?
I mean, whether or not they will implement it?
Yes.
Okay, so we didn't go along that way, asking whether or not they will implement, but that is the thinking. Because if you're looking at having cash available to persons, as well as economic activity, we are hopeful that the private sector will get on board and do likewise in terms of doing the payments bi-monthly or semi-monthly. But it's not government's directive to direct them that they have to. But, the hope is once they see the success of the government's implementation, they will do likewise and switch. Because we actually have some companies that state in...
Because now with the extra, activity that will be taking place when money is available. A business will now have a faster cash flow coming, which they can allow to disburse on a twice monthly mode and wait for that 30-day cycle.
Correct,
right,
yes.
So that's interesting. Let's go to another caller. Caller, good morning, welcome.
Yes, good morning. I don't see nothing wrong with this change of the fortnightly pay. And fortnightly pay does come in good use. I mean, people have to get used to changes and learn to know how to be able to contact and contrive. I don't see no problem in some who really understand in the learning process that they shouldn't get teaching. Teaching is necessary for all because some people really don't have these kind of understanding. But this is not a problem in this change, and change will come. People must learn to get grips with change. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Thank you there also for your contribution this morning. I understand what the caller is saying, if you get a drift of it, but as we said earlier, not everyone will gravitate to thing in an instant basis.
That's expected.
Not everyone, but change is good. Change is good. It's good to always slip away from the norm and do something in a different way.
Correct.
And you will see the benefit that arrive from it. But sometimes it may take some folks a little longer.
To get and they'll get into it. Yes.
They sure will. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. You're welcome.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yes.
Caller, would you mind turning down the television or the radio, please? I think it's a bit of a distraction to you.
Yes, I've done that.
Okay, go right ahead with your contribution.
Okay, yes, I just want to commend this move. I think it's very good. I learned that when I traveled overseas, and I've been paid for 50 years like that. And it really does give you flexibility. And also in Grenada here, now I come back, I notice, say like even the Montmorris, what you call the thing at the end of the month there, that they have, the breakfast thing. People wait till the end of the month to go to that, let's say. Montmorris could now put on too. People would have more flow. They would have more money to spend in the economy and boost things a bit. And I really applaud that. It will work. Not to mention your savings on your loan payments. That is really a good thing. And I say that's a good move. Thank you.
Thank you also, caller. Thank you for... You want to respond to the caller in terms of what you mentioned?
I think she has it right. And one thing we always see that activity in town, during the month, things dead generally, but coming to the end of the month, you see activity. So you want to increase the activity right throughout the month. You don't have to wait until then. So she's correct. Flexibility of payments, yes, definitely will enhance economic activity.
All right.
Yes.
I have a question from someone via the social media platform, the Facebook side. They're asking, and they're saying, well, in the diaspora, government workers get their bi-weekly payments through direct deposits in their bank. The question is, would the workers will be getting a direct deposit instead of a check or both?
No, most of our employees we pay them via direct deposits. Hardly have persons receiving check. Yes, direct deposits.
Probably that person out there missed a little bit.
Yeah.
we are a bit that updated in Grenada.
Yes, correct.
Good morning to you, caller. Welcome. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, GT, and morning to you again. I tried to restrain myself from calling, but I just called to say I remember when the NIS was coming on stream. Even when the OECF was changing the money, the form of money, there was great resistance. I mean, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, forgive me here. So any major change like that would have some of the reaction. Unfortunately, there are those who mislead people into believing that it's a bad thing, and they will endanger them. I'm not a capitalist, I'm not a supporter of the market, but it will help in a number of ways. For instance, we have a problem where people borrow or they trust, and when time to pay back, they don't. Because by the time they get their monthly salary, they have so much debt incurred, they don't pay the people that they take. Now they won't have much of an excuse. That's all I'll say for now. Thanks.
Thank you, caller. Thank you for your contribution there also.
Yes, that's correct. People are looking at it from different options, different ways. And it's correct what he just said. Yes, because you have the funds available. So you have to wait until the end of the month to try to pay back a debt.
So true.
Yes, you'll have the money. Yes.
You will say, well, I'm going to take care of something this fortnight. Next fortnight, you don't have that issue to worry about anymore. Right. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning and welcome. Good morning to you, caller. Hello, caller. Good morning. Guess that caller is not there. We due for a break. Let's take it. 10 minutes before we wrap today's program. We're coming right back after the break, folks. Stay with us.
Remember, if you have flu symptoms, do the right thing and stay at home to avoid giving it to others. Remember, you can be infectious up to a week after developing symptoms, so rest up and take it easy.
Sneezes spread diseases, so cover coughs and sneezes, please. Not with a rag or bandana. They trap germs. When you use the rag again, you put germs on your hands and everything else you touch. When you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth and nose with tissue. Throw the tissue in a bin and wash your hands afterwards. If you don't have a tissue, cough into your sleeve or elbow. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers are also effective in cleaning hands. Looking for that
Let me say welcome back to our listeners and viewers. It's to the point for today, Wednesday the 5th, and we're talking, the bi-monthly payments soon to be implemented here in Grenada. And your phone calls already of course, you have the options of calling and giving us feedback in terms of how you feel about it. You have a question or two that's something about it that the bi-monthly payments you thought maybe a question or two you may want to ask about it. Feel free to ask Messias about that also. Now, Messias, we've been talking for the last couple of minutes relating to the bi-monthly payments and so forth, and the soon to be implemented. What are some of the ideas you would like to throw out to especially the listeners, viewers, folks who are just getting into this in terms of the way forward?
So it's something new. It's a new implementation. We encourage persons to embrace it. We're looking at the benefits for the customers, for employees as well as the economy. So we're asking people to embrace the change. We know it's something completely different. We have never done this before on the large scale that we are opting to do it. But we asking persons to embrace the change. In case, for example, because the system and it's people making the change, in case probably didn't get a salary right the first time. Of course, there's recourse. You're calling, you make the adjustments, we adjust it. Because that's how the systems will operate. You may be having slip-ups, but we want to make sure that the implementation was a success, and at least the vast majority of persons will be getting their payments on time and continue to get it bi-monthly as such. Yes.
Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning, and you're welcome. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I just called to make a very simple correction. The word bi-monthly is wrong in meaning. Bi-monthly means every 2 months. We are talking about semi-monthly, every fortnight. So try to avoid using the word bi-monthly. Thank you.
Thank you. Also, caller.
Okay, so we're going to use semi-monthly. And it's not fortnights, because fortnightly payments are still different. Fortnightly, you'll get paid every 2 weeks, which will more or less work out to be 26 payments per year. A semi-monthly type payment, you're getting paid twice per month, and it'll be actually 24 payments for the month.
Right.
Yes.
I understand what the call is.
Yeah, the buy and the yes. So
it seems like if you talk about 2 months.
2 months, well, actually. So we'll say semi-monthly, and we'll say.
So the caller is correct. He actually is correct by saying that. But sometimes in local conversation you say bi-monthly.
Yeah, bi-monthly, twice a month.
Yes. I understand. It's just the local talk in terms of saying it, but caller, you are correct, and we appreciate the correction on that level. Now, my final question I would like to throw to you, I know we did speak about it at a level already, but in terms of the consultation with the various individuals over there, the pensioners, workers, they had that in terms of that money management project with us. Give us some final take on that before we wrap up, in terms of how the process is going to go along, in terms of speaking them, in terms of the money, managing their money and so forth.
Okay, so in terms of the employees, we actually had a consultation with, the first time we did about 1,000 persons. We actually had a Zoom sessions.
So there are some folks who have been spoken to about it.
Yes. So in the Ministry of Finance, we have our internal team, and we had discussions with roughly about 1,000 employees at the first pass. So we had that first consultation. Then we had a focus groups. So we had consultations with the police, we had the prison officers, we had nurses, we had teachers. Because we want to make sure that we get all the different factions within the service. Everybody is fully aware of what is taking place. And tomorrow is a consultation with the pensioners, because you cannot leave out the pensioners. They also receive money from government. So, and throughout that whole process, we think we have covered the vast majority of the service. We're having this session now. We had Facebook. We have frequently asked questions. We have the permanent secretaries within the ministries having conversations with their employees. So we think we had more or less spoke to the vast majority of persons within government and explained to them the process of the semi-monthly payments.
All right. Let's entertain another caller. I guess we lost that caller there. So we await the first disbursement will be on the 15th.
Yes. Well, actually, the monies will be on the account by the 14th. Yes, because the 15th is a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes.
All right. Let's entertain another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
My question is for the host there, is that will the persons who receive public assistance be given public assistance twice per month also?
Interesting question.
No. The focus is on government employees. So the salaries payment will be twice per month. Public assistance will process as normal.
Yes, normal.
Whereby you get your public assistance the third Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of every month. That will remain as is.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes.
Probably folks never thought about it. Probably think they'll be receiving them.
Yes, well, yeah. But probably that's something we could look at. But that's
true.
Yeah, that's the next section.
Let's entertain another caller. Could be our final caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Language being dynamic, I myself thought that bi-monthly could only mean every 2 months. But if you Google it, you will see that dictionaries have changed and that bi-monthly and semi-monthly can be used interchangeably. It is confusing, but bi-monthly no longer means every 2 months alone. Bye.
Thank you, caller. Thank you there also.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that actually with the terms are used interchangeably. But I said because the caller calling, yes. But it is based on what Google is saying. You can use the term semi as well as bi to reference twice monthly payments. Yes.
Because bi always means twice.
Twice. So it could be twice per month or twice. Or 2 months,
Use it in the context in terms of how you want to explain
exactly.
I understand.
Yes,
that. Totally do understand that. But since let's make a final summary of what we spoke today. Any final throughout you want to, of course, show to the viewing and listening audience, especially for folks who will be receiving their payments. Any final you want to throw to them?
Yes, so as I said at the beginning of the program, the payments will start from the 14th, and the schedule is the 15th and the 30th of every month. We're going to make the adjustment if it's a holiday or if it's a public holiday or if it falls on a weekend. Right down for the entire year. It also applies to December. So you're going to do the same format as the 15th and the 30th accordingly. And we're talking about all the government employees as well as the pensioners, sorry. If you're custom receiving fortnightly payments, it will remain the same. We will not be changing the fortnightly payments. You're custom receiving your money every 14 days or every 2 weeks, we'll leave it as that. But the change is for monthly paid government employees. The idea, if you're looking at the economic activity, the thinking is that once we have a successful implementation and the private sector see how well that the process is going and the movement of cash, they will probably buy into it as well and have their employees also being paid twice per month. Also, I'd like to thank the hardworking team within the Ministry of Finance for the support in this process, especially the team within the Accountant General's Department, because it's a small department, and this team is a small team. Just consists of 4 persons.
Imagine the workload.
And it is a lot. It can be frustrating because you have to make sure, because we're dealing with a person's salary. That's the thing. You got to make sure that it's correct. You got to make sure that the computations are correct, that the divisions, when you split something in half, is correct. So I'd like to thank the team from the IT unit within the Accountant General's Department, as well as the payroll units for their tireless work in making sure that this will be implemented on time. Come the 14th.
All right.
Yes.
Obviously, I want to thank you a whole lot for being on to the point this morning, coming and share the information with the viewed and listened public, and I show the individuals out there who may had some misconception. They have been cleared up a whole lot this morning, and they are just waiting for the smooth, of course, flow of this option that is just presented, and it's all the best.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
And thanks for the listeners and the viewers. Right. Thanks again.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, folks, thanks for once again to be with us here on To The Point for today, Wednesday the 5th. I'm your host, GT. I'll be back with you tomorrow. Be good to yourself and others, folks. Have yourself a fantastic day. What's left of it. Goodbye.